What is up, guys? We are starting off the night with Mike's top 5 NBA mascots. Mike, hit me with them.
Number 5, we got Jazzy Bear from Utah. Number 4, we got Rocky from Denver. Number 3, we got Benny the Bull from Chicago. Number 2, we got Stuff the Magic Bear from Orlando. And number 1, the home team, Bango from the Milwaukee Bucks. That's my list. If your mascot's got an issue with it, come see me at the Bucks game live this Friday.
Tonight, we're talking about our casual kickoff to the NBA season. Mike tries to dig us out of our betting slump, and we play starting 5 with NFL players this week. All that and more on tonight's episode of Mike and D Casual Sports Show. I'm a little disrespected, Mike. I feel a little disrespected. I know you said we can come see you in Milwaukee. That's a long ways to go, so I'll air my grievances here. No Coyote?
Okay. Listen, man.
No San Antonio Spurs Coyote.
Like that first 4 out at the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Like he was number 6. Like I had a heavy debate, but I'm just like, man, I get the theatrics that he brings, but like these 5 right here.
His eyes come off. He takes his eyes off. Like nobody else is taking their eyes off. I'm gonna have to send you some highlights of the Coyote because I don't think you're in tune with the level of the Coyote. Look, your list is legit. I'm gonna go with it. Rocky from Denver, classic. Right, Benny the Bull, he's all time. Stuff the Magic Dragon, that's a dragon. Like we can't argue that. And Bango, you're a hometown guy.
Right.
But the Jazz Bear, come on, man. The Jazz Bear. The Jazz Bear beat out the what does a bear have to do with the Jazz?
I mean, you're out there in Utah. You out there in Utah in the mountains,
but
man.
If they were like the Utah Brown Bears, I'd go with it. They need a saxophone running around. Then they could. Hey, I'm on protest on this one. Coyote should have been top 5.
Send me the highlights. This list could change. It's fluid. It's fluid.
If you guys didn't know, this is the Casual Sports Talk Show with Mike and D, the most casual sports show on the internet. Of course, I am Nerdy D, and that is my guy, the Las Vegas destroyer and football connoisseur, Milwaukee Mike. I'm keeping it in there. I'm keeping it in there. All right. If you're new to this channel, this is a chill-ass community where we kick back, talk sports, talk wrestling, talk pop culture. But tonight, it is all about sports. You can join the Discord. The link will be in the bio, and super chats get you to the front of the conversation. Mike, let's start the show with an NBA kickoff. Tonight, the season starts tonight. So we'll take a slight little break from football for just for a week, and let's talk basketball. So I sent you a couple different kind of conversation starters we could talk about. Starting with, let's just jump right into who's winning the championship this year? Who holds the big? Is it Larry O'Brien? Is that what they call the NBA trophy?
Larry
O'Brien trophy.
So I broke this down between East and West, right? Okay. I think in the East, it's hard to really go against the Boston Celtics, man. They brought back everybody that they had in that championship roster last year. I think they now are a proven team. They've got experience now. They've made, I think, 4 of the last 5 Eastern Conference Finals. It's really hard to go get. I mean, there's some teams there that, could probably poke them and make it interesting. Milwaukee, you got your Miamis. 76ers, I don't know.
It's health. It's all health.
And Embiid is on, he's already restricted, and he hasn't even played it, and then Paul George messed his knee up in it. So I don't know, but I go in Boston East, and then out West, I think that the sexy pick is probably like a Denver or Minnesota after last year.
Yeah.
I'm going OKC.
Okay.
I'm going OKC because I feel like that's a team that is young, but I think they now have experience from last year. I think SGA is going to take another step. I think, when it comes to Minnesota losing Karl Anthony Towns and bringing in Julius Randle, that's going to be a thing that I got to kind of see how that plays out in the court. I'm not completely sold on that. So I'm going Oklahoma City versus Boston. I'm going Boston with the repeat.
Okay, interesting. I'm going to take a left turn on you because I don't think Boston does it again. After watching, you got me on this starting 5 thing, Mike. Okay. I don't see the heart in Jason Tatum, and I tend to side with the dogs. I tend to side. Look, man, Indiana, to me, that's the youth. I like Tyrese Halliburton. He's out here bringing 5 white girls home. You know,
yeah.
he's locked in, Mike. He's locked in. He's ready to go. Yeah. I think that Indiana can. They snuck in. They were so close last year, and I feel like they're just a couple. Just if Tyrese just takes a step, I feel like defense. They have the intangibles for me. But so I'll go Indiana out of the East. That's a wild card pick. In the West, I'm going Minnesota, Mike. I know you talk about Julius Randle, but I think ultimately that the Cat trade is going to be the best thing that happened. He couldn't stay on the court. That was his big problem, right? In big games, he was in foul trouble. And so do you lose a little bit of skill switching to Julius Randle? Sure, there's a little bit, but you also pick up, like I said, the dog. You get the dog, and now you got Ant-Man and Julius Randle, 2 guys who I believe will kill to win a basketball game. You put those guys on the floor, and they also got old boy, the other guy they got from New York. I don't know his name.
DiVincenzo.
There you go.
DiVincenzo.
He's a dog too, man.
He is.
And you see him go back to New York, and he wasn't having it. So there's a chip on those guys' shoulders. I think with Ant-Man, if he just continues what he's doing and the supporting cast steps up, come playoff time, he doesn't have to worry about Cat being on the bench anymore. So I'm going to go Minnesota. I'm going to go Indiana. I'm going to go Minnesota winning it all.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
I feel like Indiana was a flash in the pan last year, man. I looked. They beat my home team in Milwaukee when we were hurt. They got New York when they were hurt.
There's just something I like about them. I don't know, when I watch them play, they play fast.
Yeah.
They're young. And in the NBA, that it can either work or it can't. And so I'm taking a long shot there. I'm not a believer in New York. Milwaukee is definitely a sleeper. I'm not a believer. I just don't think. I think there's going to be. I think we're going to see this year. We're going to experience the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, the friction of Jason Tatum having something to prove instead of.
Sure.
I know they say it's not going to happen, but I think we start to see the cracks in that.
Okay.
So then earlier than the NBA championship, we get this weird in-season tourney.
Yes.
And I don't, when I sat down to pick who's going to win the in-season tourney, it's so weird because to me, I kind of eliminate the top teams from this conversation because I don't think they really care. And it's such an early thing that why invest into that? So I kind of took them out of the mix when I picked for the in-season. Who do you have winning the in-season tournament?
So this is interesting because I really enjoyed this last year.
Okay.
I think it brought a little excitement before Christmas time, which I really did enjoy. And I do think year 2, I think you're going to see some of those top teams.
You think
actually, because I think there's a lot of confusion going into last year.
They understand it this year.
They understand it this year. They see, there's that $500,000. I still don't think that kind of changes who I think is going to potentially win this. I think it's going to be one of those teams that isn't necessarily in championship contention.
Yeah.
Because those are, they want the money. They want something for the season. I'm going with the Orlando Magic.
Okay.
I'm going with the Orlando Magic.
That.
I think that's a young team. They're scrappy. They're on the uprise. I think they took Cleveland to the max last year in the playoffs. I could see them really going after this in-season tournament.
I like that. I'm with you. My fear is the big teams, the big dogs, they have the tendency, if a guy's just a little banged up, they sit him down. Like these games don't matter. So I'm going to go San Antonio Spurs on this one.
Okay.
Because of the youth, right? I think they're going to come out. I think they have a lot to prove. I think Chris Paul he's finally going to get them organized enough that like the game plays through Wemby. And so it looks to me they'll start quick. I think as the season goes on, they will show youth. They'll probably come in the 12th spot in the West. But I think early on they're going to come out the gates youthful. Wemby's put on some weight. You got Chris Paul kind of leading the charge there. I think that Pop could see the benefit of maybe winning an in-season tournament. And using that as motivation going forward as like this is step 1 to a bigger picture. So I went Spurs on that one.
That was my second choice. I think that rookie Castle, he's gonna put on a show this year.
Yeah, definitely.
He's gonna put on a show this year. Yep.
Brother Sam from the chat says he's got New Orleans for the in-season tournament. That's not a bad pick. That's another one of those to me. It's all based on how healthy can Zion be.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to bet on him being healthy. If he is, they have so much potential.
Yep.
All right, who do you have for MVP this year?
MVP is going to be SGA.
Okay.
I think he was right there last year in the voting. I think he's going to be right there again. I think there's voter fatigue with Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him stepping up because, again, I have them in the NBA Finals.
Definitely.
To get there, he's going to have to be that guy. I think he's that guy this year.
So that was my first pick, and then I talked myself out of it because I think he takes a step backwards, not skill-wise, but because of the team around him. I think you've got like Chet and those guys are going to take a little more responsibility, and so Shai's not going to have to do quite as much. He may do more in different places. So I have Luka winning it. I have Luka winning MVP just because I look at the makeup of his roster, and the only way Dallas wins is if he scores like 40 a night. We saw that so it's either Dallas just completely falls apart this year, or Luka just is going to have a ridiculous. So I'm going to take the long shot here, and I don't think it's a long shot, but I'm going to take the Shai. I think odds on better pick because if he takes that step, he's that guy. But I just feel like you said, they've got championship aspirations. And sometimes that can cause a guy to go, well, I'm going to give up maybe, 5 or 6 shots I would have took a game. I'm going to rest myself a little bit more. We're going to be strategic and play the long game. So I'm going to go Luka on MVP.
Okay.
We Too Deep says, you don't think Clay and Kyrie help Luka out? I think
Clay doesn't.
I think Clay's shot.
Yeah, he's done. He'll get you 15. But it's not the 15 that you would get in Golden State.
No, he can spread the floor a little bit. I mean, he's not even showing that yet. And he's not the same defender. He's a guy, like, I wish him the best. I hope he figures it out and gets, like a second burst. But I think he's a guy, he's just injuries and things. He's burned out.
And Kyrie has to be an all-star for them to win a chip.
Be.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah.
I mean, it literally comes down to, can Luka and Kyrie just outscore people?
Yep.
That's what that's the Dallas mentality now.
Yep.
All right, let's go defensive player of the year. This one was easy for me. I got Wemby.
That's mine. I mean, listen, they're not giving this award to Gobert again. Not after what he did in the playoffs last year. I mean, there's no chance. I think he was second last year, right?
Yeah.
He was top 3.
I think he was second. I think you're right.
I don't see any way that he does not get this.
He was second, and I think statistically it was very, very close. Like, they almost and so you got to assume with a year under your belt, you just understand where to be positionally better. And so I think this is probably, I'd bet like the next 3 or 4 years this is Wemby's award. He's just an anomaly. Fucking 7'6" and
crazy.
And so long.
Crazy.
All right, so then let's go Rookie of the Year. This is an interesting one.
So I went back and forth, right? Because there was Castle and San Antonio I considered. But ultimately it came down to who I think is going to get significant playing time. And when they get that playing time, are they going to be dynamic enough to make an impact?
Okay.
I went with Dalton Knecht from the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay.
I seen how they're using him in the preseason. I think he's going to be in the rotation. He's got a nice stroke. He seems to know that, and he's with LeBron. I could see that being beneficial to him. I think he's going to win it.
So I had the same mentality. I just went a different direction. I think
like
this is the year. There's no standout guy that's just going to shock the world. I went Reed Shepherd.
Okay, Houston.
Houston. Yeah. I just think volume, right? I just think he's just going to get opportunities to
shooting the ball.
Shooting the ball. He's a pretty good defender. I think he'll get the hype just because I don't think Houston's going to get the problem is just Houston get enough attention. Los Angeles will be on TV every night, but I think if Reed has a couple big games, he can get into the conversation. That's all.
He's sneaky athletic too.
Yeah. I mean, he can shoot the ball. He's a defender. I think in Houston there'll be the opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
All right, scoring title.
I went SGA. It's kind of a pattern.
I see. I mean, I think we both have the same kind of template here we're working off of.
because he was top 3 last year.
Yeah, definitely.
I could see him being right there again. So I'm going SGA.
I'm Luka because same thing I said earlier, right? That's the only way he wins MVP is if he scores in volume.
Scoring.
There's no way Luka wins MVP and doesn't win the scoring title.
Sure,
so he has. To.
I mean, yeah. You know,
Shea could really win. I could see him scoring second and still winning MVP because statistically he does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Luka's such a liability on the other end of the floor that he's got to it's got to be legitimate, you know, scoring title for him, I think.
For sure.
And then last thing, I didn't have this written down for you, but hot take going into the season.
Ooh, hot take going into the season. Hot take going into the season.
I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine is, we touched on it a little bit. New York's going to regret trading for Cat.
Okay. Okay.
I think we're going to see a decline in New York. I just don't. Cat is a super talented, but I just don't think the on-court intelligence of like staying out of foul trouble and things like that. New York is notoriously a place where the crowd gets in your head and they're loud. I think Cat gets rattled, whereas I think Julius Randle, Minnesota, on the flip side, is going to come playoff time. They're going to really appreciate that trade.
Okay. I think where I would go with a hot take is usually you want to go with, could there be maybe a splash trade during the season?
Okay.
I'm going to go with Miami trading Bam Adebayo by the trade deadline.
Interesting.
I could see that being a situation where maybe they're not necessarily producing at the rate that they thought they could, or maybe they feel like they can get assets back. Something along those lines where like it makes sense, and he gets traded to a team that, you know, is right there in contention possibly. So definitely. I think that's probably where I would go.
Okay. We Too Deep just informed me that New York is already getting shit on by Boston. It's 54-35 in the second quarter.
That doesn't surprise me.
I just don't think. I don't think that trade made New York better.
They lost defense.
Yeah,
they lost
in heart. I feel like they lost defense and heart. All right, so new segment here. I want to do a quick count. Three quick topics. Just give me your off the top of your head answer here. Paul George says that the media should not be allowed in the locker room because they tend to look at his junk. What's your thoughts on that?
I've always felt uncomfortable when I see media in the locker room. You know, I'm a former athlete. I've been in locker rooms before. You know, it can get real touchy and real risky at times. So I feel like there's got to be like a designated time or time limit, and this media got to get out of there, right? Like I could see where that comment could be true.
I don't understand the inherent need to get a comment from somebody before they've showered. Let a man shower, put on his clothes, and then you can talk to them, and you'd probably get a lot less wild answers. But I will say, in the Paul George situation, I don't know what he's so concerned with. Dude's in street clothes 90% of the time. He's not ever on the court. Nobody's looking at your junk if you're not playing. You don't need to shower.
Shots fired.
LeBron and Bronny are expected to see the court together in tonight's Lakers debut. What do you expect to happen tonight, Mike?
I don't expect anything from Bronny. I mean, maybe he'll get his first NBA bucket. I mean, I could see that being a big situation there, but I'm not putting all my stock into that right now. Mm-hmm. I think that's something you got to look at maybe in 5 years. But for right now, it's cool. Father, son, I get it, but I don't expect much from it.
So envision this, Mike. This is what I see happening, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Bronny's at the top. Ant-Man's up there with him. Ant-Man pokes it free. Yeah. We got Ant-Man and Bronny running down the court. LeBron looks up. He's at the other free throw. He's got to make a Mufasa decision. Yeah. Is he going to risk his life to go chase it down and possibly blow out a knee or an ankle? Or is he going to let Ant-Man bless Bronny and welcome him to the NBA? That's what I envision happening. There's going to be this moment where LeBron the athlete and LeBron the dad, they're gonna cross paths and have to figure it out. So we'll see.
I think he lets him bless him.
Then lastly, Ant-Man says if he wins an NBA title in the next couple of years, he's going to the NFL. Do you believe him, Mike?
I honestly, yes. I legitimately, like, he is one of those dudes that, like, when he talks his shit, he's looking to back it.
Yeah.
And I seen the photos shoot between him and Justin Jefferson, and they were being competitive with a game of horse. Like, I'm not ruling that out. I'm not ruling it out. He's only 22.
Agree.
So,
agree. Here's my thing. Look, I think a lot of people who don't play sports don't understand. And this, I know this is going to take flack because I'm a former basketball player, but basketball players are better athletes. I just believe that. Overall, football players much more tough, probably more intelligent, the whole but athletically, you put a guy like Ant-Man 6'4" and as fast as he is at tight end or on the outside, he can play football.
Yeah.
As long as the physicality doesn't break him, which I don't think it'll break Ant-Man. There's a lot of guys that can't make the crossover, but athletically, you don't get it twisted. Ant-Man is physically capable of playing in the NFL.
He said he likes to hit. So
I imagine he's just a big kind of rough guy.
Yep.
He plays basketball a little bit like football.
Yeah.
We Too Deep says, y'all don't think that Bronny gets the Rookie of the Year vote in a rigged vote? Bro got drafted averaging 4.8 points per game in college. The NBA is all about press. That's a hard sell. That is a hard.
Can't do that.
LeBron has the sway in LA. Like, I think LeBron's got JJ under his thumb, and Bronny will get more playing time than he deserves. I think it's a harder sell to convince the entire voting media that Bronny is MVP. Hey, crazier shit could happen. Let Bronny tonight score 14, 15, and the talk's going to be wild tomorrow.
That's it.
It'll be
everywhere.
Insane.
Everywhere.
All right, let's drop over to our pick six here, Mike. We'll go through this pretty quickly. So I wasn't able to calculate the records. I ran out of time, but I know.
Okay.
Week 1, I was 0-6. You were, or I was 2-6. You were 6-0.
Yeah.
I picked up a couple this week, but you still.
I think I dropped 2. I think I dropped 2.
You dropped 2. So I'll calculate, and we'll have a full on total for next week.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be a little more reserved this week. I'm not, week 1 and 2, I came out firing and shooting. So
right.
Let's go in here. Starting with, is this the updated graphic? This is not the updated graphic. Let me see if I have the updated graphic real quick.
There was some weird games this past week, man. Weird games. I think, in fantasy football as well. A lot of these star players ain't producing this year. A lot of these star players ain't producing this year, man. A lot of star players ain't producing. And it's really weird. And then you think, okay, this cat came out of nowhere for the last 2 weeks. He seems like he's doing, you pick him up and they don't do shit. It's been a weird NFL season so far.
I don't know why. Okay, so I don't have the graphic for this one. I'll overlay the graphic in the updated version, but we'll just go. I have a list here on my on my other screen, my notes. All right, so we have first game is the Thursday night game is the Vikings versus the Rams. Mike, who do you have?
I'm going Vikings, man. They just got beat by Detroit. They're gonna be a little mad about that. I don't think LA's anything special. I don't think offensively they're heavy. I know Cooper Kupp might be back, but even that doesn't get him over the hump. I'm going Minnesota.
I'm going Vikings as well. We've got Texans and Colts. I've got to get some get back for last week. Your hometown Packers beat my Texans. I'm going Texans in this one. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going Texans. That's not a hard pick. Not a hard pick.
Then we got Packers versus Jags. I'm going to jump out of left field. The Jags figured something out in London. They're going to bring it back home with them. Give me Jacksonville to beat the Packers this week.
It's a trap game, man, because we got Detroit the following week, and that could be one that you're looking ahead to. But I do think that the coaching staff will have us ready. I think Pat goes down there and gets the dub.
All right, then we've got the Chiefs versus the Raiders. That's a divisional game, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Give me the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs keep pushing.
I'm not picking the Raiders. I'm going Chiefs.
Oh yeah. I mean,
they can't pick.
Pretty hard to pick the Raiders right now.
Yeah.
We got the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Mike, what you got?
They just lost Ayuk to ACL. Debo's in the hospital today with sickness. McCaffrey's, on one leg. He might be back. I guess. I don't listen, man. That's too many variables. I'm going to go Cowboys. I know they haven't looked the greatest, but I got to take the team that's got the players compared to not. So
give me the 49ers because the Cowboys will figure out a way to lose this.
They'll figure out a way.
They will figure out the one they're supposed to have. They will figure out a way to lose.
They'll figure out a way. That's Dallas.
And then lastly, we've got the Giants versus the Steelers on Monday night. What you got?
I'm going Steelers. That's just a consistent team.
Mr. Unlimited. He showed up.
Mr. Unlimited.
I picked him up in fantasy football. This may be my saving grace.
He looked good. He looked good.
He looked good. I think he quieted the conversation at least for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Let's do. Let's get into our parlays here. Our money in the bank.
Okay.
You've got us a Mike's Lock NFL. You've got us an NBA kickoff bet, and then I'll drop. Lauren graced us with a Lauren's long shot. Go ahead.
So I'll start with the NBA since I know the first game's already in progress.
Okay.
So tonight I got Tatum going over 4.5 assists. I have Anthony Edwards. This was a gift by Prize Picks going over 0.5 points. That's going to be a no-brainer. I got Mike Conley going over 7.5 rebounds and assists. I have Julius Randle going over 11.5 rebounds and assists. I have LeBron going over 8 assists, and I have Anthony Davis going over 25 points.
That's pretty safe. I'm feeling good about that one.
I feel good about it. I think the only one that I'm like, well, there's two. I think LeBron going over 8 assists, but I think he's averaging like 7 against the Timberwolves. So like I could see that being, and then Randall. But I just feel like Randall's going to be put in there. He's just going to have to be in dog mode. And I can see him grabbing boards and kicking it out. So
I think guys like that have something to prove early on. I think that's good. And I think LeBron, same thing. I think he's going to want to get a lot of people involved early in the season. Yep. So I think I feel safe with what you put there.
So then NFL, we're going straight picks for the Thursday night game.
I like this.
I said, let's just get it out the way right away, and then we can have the weekend, right? Mm-hmm. So I got Aaron Jones going over 97.5 rush and receiving yards. He's been utilized a lot in Minnesota between rushing the ball and catching screen passes and whatnot. So I see him going over that against a bad Rams defense.
Okay.
Jefferson going over 6 receptions. He's hit that every game this season. Will Richard kicking over 7.5 kicking points. I think the Vikings will get the score up. I think maybe they kick a field goal or two as well. I can see that getting hit. Stafford going under 33.5 pass attempts. I think Minnesota's defense is just going to keep getting them off the field. He's not going to be able to get up there. Kyren Williams over 18.5 rush attempts. I'm sorry. I think that's going to be the only offense they have. Okay. I mean, they're going to have to run the ball. And then I have the Joshua Carty going under 1.5 field goals made. The Rams are going to be down. Do they go for field goals? I don't really know. Maybe, but I don't see it. I don't see it getting hit. So that is those are my 2 locks of the week.
A lot of names on that list that I'm not familiar with. So this is one I'm excited.
It makes watching Thursday fun now.
Yeah, Thursday's gonna be exciting. I'm definitely excited for Thursday. We might have to add a weekly Thursday pick.
I'm good with that.
I like that. I do like that.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
All right, so here's Lauren's long shot. Okay?
I want to hear this. Yeah.
So Lauren hit us with Justin Jefferson at more than 82.5 receiving yards.
I can see that.
Most of this is coming from her fantasy football team, just so you know.
That's fine. Yeah.
Saquon Barkley at less than 83.5 rushing yards.
Okay.
They're playing the Bengals.
Okay.
I explained to her what he accomplished this weekend, and she didn't care.
He could have a little fall off after last weekend. Yeah, he could have ran all his yards last week. Yeah.
She's got Aaron Jones at more than 0.5 rushing receiving touchdowns.
Okay. Yeah. That's spot. Yep. Absolutely.
She's got Will Lutz,
the kicker.
The kicker at more than 1.5 field goals made.
Okay.
She's got AJ Brown at more than 0.5 rushing receiving touchdowns.
Okay.
And then she's got Will Reichard at more than 7.5 kicking points.
That's on my list. So yeah. Hey, listen, for somebody that doesn't really.
Oh, she has no clue. I watched the process.
Yeah.
Of like, at one point, Mike, she was talking about like Saquon Barkley, and she goes, "Who's the quarterback for the Chargers?" I was like, "How does that information affect Saquon
She's
Barkley?"
got something.
She was like, "Trust me, I just got this." I was like, "All right, cool, you got it." Like,
listen, if she hits,
so I said, if she hits, Mike, and we don't on ours,
she's got it.
We're in trouble.
It's her segment.
We're in trouble.
It's her segment. I'm giving it to her. It's her segment.
All right, let's do let's kick over to our starting five here.
Let's do it.
So this week we're gonna do switching it up. I actually kind of like starting fives. Football's tough.
Football's tough.
A fantasy football, but with basketball, there's pretty defined positions.
Yeah.
So we might end up sticking to this format.
Okay.
But so right now we've got NFL players playing basketball. I'm gonna shuffle for you. You tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Brock Purdy.
That's got to be the point guard, right? Like that's the quintessential.
That's the John Stockton. You're old. You already are building the team around an old school point guard. He's gonna be setting picks, Mike. Lots of picks are gonna be set, and he's gonna be everywhere. He's gonna be just distributing the ball
everywhere.
Doesn't need to shoot it at all. Oh,
yeah.
Brock Purdy. All right, I'm shuffling here. Stop. I got Travis Kelce. So I'm tempted. Here's my problem.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of height in big guys. So do I put him at center and then try to build athletically around him? Or do I go power forward and hope I pick up? I'm going to go power forward, hoping that I draw somebody bigger in another round. All right, I'm shuffling. You tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Tyreek Hill.
Okay. I mean, that's got to be my shooting guard.
Got to be shooting guard.
He can't be my forward. So that's got to be my shooting guard.
That's your Iverson. You're small up front.
Yeah.
But he makes up for the lack of athleticism.
Yeah.
In Brock Purdy, he could probably guard the one.
He'll slash for me. I like that.
All right, here we go. Stop, Aaron Rodgers. It's got to be my shooting
point guard.
No, that's my shooting guard.
That's a shooting guard. Okay.
Yeah, he's not athletic enough. Well, I guess against Brock Purdy it would have been okay. I feel like Aaron Rodgers, I'm just gonna stick him in the corner. He's just a corner. He's my Ray Allen. Just stand in the corner, make intelligent decisions, and
he's your Kyle Korver.
Yeah, Kyle Korver. That's what I'm doing. I'm not willing to give up my point guard spot to Aaron Rodgers. I feel like we may not get the ball past half court with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
All right, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Devontae Adams.
That's my small forward.
I know.
That's my small forward. That's my small forward.
You're getting more athletic as we progress here. So far, I've got two fucking white guys.
Yeah. That's my small forward.
We can play some like Wisconsin style basketball though.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that.
Stop. CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
How tall is CeeDee Lamb?
6'1", 6'2".
He's that. Yeah. Okay. So I could go tall point guard and give Brock Purdy some problems.
Okay.
Yeah. I just don't. Okay. He's a receiver. He don't want to pass the fucking ball.
Yeah. Put him at the forward, small forward.
Small forward.
Yeah.
That's a tough matchup with Devontae Adams. So Devontae's gonna body him. All right. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Man, it's my power forward, right?
He's got the height for it. I think
he's
as far as football guys go.
He'll be my my Draymond, like an undersized.
Yeah.
4. Yeah.
All right, I've got Lamar Jackson. This is game changer here. That's my point guard.
Okay. Ooh.
That's a big physical point guard.
Ooh.
Now those white boys make a little more sense on the outside.
Okay.
We're playing 5 out and letting Lamar spread the floor.
Now. You're cooking a little bit now. Yeah. He's like, yeah.
We're both left with centers here.
Oh, fuck. Okay. All right. Stop.
You got Max Crosby.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm
not mad at that. Just a bruiser.
That leaves me with I had Josh Allen. Oh wait, no, that's not Josh. That's Nick Bosa.
Oh, okay.
Nick Bosa. Oh, that's okay. Hey.
So we just got bruisers at the center.
Hey, position. Yeah, this gonna be a physical game here.
Yeah, we got just bruisers like that. Those are the two center, like Max Crosby and Bosa. Like they're playing center at the YMCA. Like that's what you're seeing.
100% YMCA style basketball.
That's YMCA.
They're going to foul. You don't want to go into the paint. There's gonna be a couple fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely, that's the plan. That Kelsey and Trevor Lawrence. That's interesting.
That's interesting. That could go either way.
I don't love CeeDee Lamb against Devontae Adams. I feel like Devontae's just a big body.
Yeah.
A-Rod's going to have a tough night guarding Tyreek Hill.
Listen, I'm running them all over.
We might have to play zone.
I'm going, hey, listen, man. I'm everywhere.
But then on the flip side, Brock Purdy going to have a nightmare with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I might get work there. But Purdy's gonna be like he's my Peyton Pritchard. Like he'll hit a couple threes, out of nowhere. I
feel you. This is a good one. I'm gonna post this one and we'll see.
I like
what
that.
Everybody thinks.
I like that.
Then to finish up here, Mike, I sent you the graphic because I know you can't necessarily see what's on screen. I did the Monday mix-up, and I just want anybody who watches the show and makes it this far to leave in the comments which version of the helmet you like better. We've got the black and gold New York Giants and the red, white, and blue Steelers. I'm a little bit of a fan of this black and gold New York.
Yeah. But black and gold is always a solid.
I was gonna say I think it'd be tough on just about any logo you get. Red, white, and blue.
Just like
Yeah. It works with the Giants, the NY, but I don't love it with the Steelers there.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All right, you got anything else before we get out of here? I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting up those Coyote clips for you.
NBA's back. I'm looking forward to. I'll be at the game on Friday, so
that's exciting. Late game tonight's LeBron, right?
LeBron and Ant-Man.
Try and catch that one.
Yeah, man. I'm good. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, but that's all we've got tonight. Thank you for hanging out in the Mike and D Casual Sports Show. As always, you're invited for all of this week's hangouts, including the Nerdy D-Pod tomorrow, where we answer life's dumbest questions, and we have the Friday night SmackDown after show on Friday. But that's all we've got. The party never stops in the Discord. Like, share, and comment. I am Nerdy D. That's my guy, Milwaukee Mike, and we are out.